everybody, welcome back to Carnation Crafts TV. This is our last show of the day, so this is your last chance to see our brand new Crafter Select live during the show. Now already 70% of this has already gone this morning. We only had one show with this so far and 70% has gone. So this is 241110, the Garden Song die set. It is on a show price for you of $14.99, which is an amazing price for, I think, the absolute sweetest die set that you can see there. I'm going to show you the board so you can see exactly what it is that you're going to get in here, because that outside mat that you can see, you can use that to make your cards on their own, or you can use them to have as mat and layers on your project. You've got your mat and layer in the center as well for your sentiment. You've got that pot there with your foliage on the outside going up. You've got your rose heads there. Now these are really easy to snip into as well, so if you want to scatter them a bit more, you can absolutely do that. And then you have your two birds, and in that blue with that orangey pink, the same color there as the flowers, they really do stand out. I'm going to show you some of the samples though, so you can see exactly how they come together, because they look so pretty. You can see they're using that outside mat as a card base, bringing in those mats and layers there for the sentiment to pop on. You can see how you can build those up, or you can use your background papers as well, so you can bring them in and use those on their own to pop in the background. And you can see how you can scatter those florals and those birds in different ways too, and you don't have to use it as a card base. You can see they're using it away from the card shape, so you can use it completely independently if you want to, or bring in that one in there. So you can see, think about the dies that you have at home already that you can mix in with these to change the look of them even more. And don't forget doing those bigger cards as well. They're still going to work on those larger cards, so all those dies that you have at home, you're going to be able to mix in with these frames that you might have at home already. You can see they're just using that foliage with the floral and the bird. You can change them again. And again, those bigger cards, you can see they're using it in the center there as the stoppage for the card. So think of those dies that you have at home that this is going to fit in with effortlessly without even thinking about it. They are absolutely, I love them. I think they're so fresh. You know, there's something clean and simple about them as well, but they still work really, really well. So in the earlier show, if you missed the earlier show, I was using the cards and I was doing them like this. So I was showing you how to use the mass and layers for the sentiment. You could make an aperture in the cardstock to pop the sentiment in and build them up in different ways, or you could pop them as a full aperture and pop some acetate in there to match up the sentiment, and use the tag bit, those mass and layers, in different ways. Now we did have Pure Enchantment on in the second show, so for this one we are going to mix and match the two of them together. So we've got I've got my cardstock, so I'm using our paper. So we're going in, so I've got a 6x6 card to start off with. So we're going to go in with this, and then I'm just going to pop some foam on the back of here and raise this layer up. So this is just going to give me that nice frame. And then we're going to pop a layer of white on top of that. So this is just going to be our base for our card ready. So that is going to go on there. Then I've cut out, so this is that mat that you could use to make your card bases, or you can use it as a mat and a layer on your project, which is what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to put some foam on the back of here because I am putting white on white. So I want to add a bit of height in between those two layers just to get a bit of dimension in between them. So add some foam down the back of here. And then let's pop this onto our card. Now, like I said, I am using bits as well from the Pure Enchantment. Oh, this is going to go on there like that. And then you'll see that when you bring in your plant pot with that foliage, it just fits that mat perfectly, so you don't need to think about anything else. You can add that in. So let's grab some pin flare. So we're going to go in and pop this down, and then I'm just going to add some on the leaves, going up here just to make sure these stand up as well. And I'll pop that on there like so. Now that to me looks so pretty. You could put a sentiment on there and you could be absolutely done if you wanted to be. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to add some of these florals in. So I'm just going to snip some of these down. And we're going to add these. We're almost going to like tuck them in with the flowers. So we're not taking anything away. We're just going to add in some more. So let's pop some of these in. Move that. So I'm going to pop one there under that, and then cut this one down so this one's going to fit in there like that. So you can just tack these in. You could even cut the whole bit off if you wanted to, so you could go in and cut them down, and then you can just pop them wherever you want them to go, because they'll look as if they're growing with the foliage on the card. And then we're going to pop one more. In there like that. And then I've got some of our seam building elements. I'm going to just put this behind there like that. Now I've put foam pads under there, so I'm just going to cut that down. I'm going to put this down flat because I've got foam and I've got those layers in between the back of there, so I'm going to just cut that and put that in there like that. That's going to go behind there. And then we've got just to say, so we'll stick this quickly on there. So I haven't used the mats and layers for there, but I'm just going to pop in one of our dies. So I've got just to say, so those sentiment dies that you've got, you can pop them in. That's just going to go there like that. Now you could have gone in and added your mats and layers there as well, which obviously I was going to do. And I forgot. Let's see if I can pull it off. There. Told you I always forget things. Alright, let's add these in. So, and these fit perfectly in because you've still got the almost the aperture part where the leaf hits that next part. So that will just fit in there perfectly, and you've got that gap where the leaves are. So it really does give you something different straight away. And that is just going to sit down there like that, and then I'm going to pull that flower out from under there, and then we're going to go in with some of our fairies. Add these in there like that, and then you could go in as well if you wanted. You could add in more of the flowers, but then you could also go in and add in one of the birds. Let's add a bird in. So you can also go in, and I'm going to add him in up there and the flowers as well. So you can see bringing in different elements. So it really does go so well with other collections that you might already have at home already. So you can see there, bringing in different ways of using it. So you don't have to use it as a card base, but it's just another way of using that Spring Song die set. But it is such a lovely, lovely die set, and for $14.99 as well. I think that's such a good price for this die, because you are going to use it in so many different ways, and I'm assuming you all love it just as much as me, because 70% has gone already. Now, so you can see there, that is the Garden Song die set. So that is everything that you're going to get. You get that outside mat there to make your card bases. You get the florals in there, you get the birds in there, and obviously you get that plant pot with the foliage growing out the back of that as well. But you've also got those two matte layers in the centre that you can use to build your apertures and your matte layers with your sentiment as well. But if I show you the board, you can see exactly how that will build up. So you've got your outside mat there, you've got your plant pot with those foliages that go up the side there. Then you've got that mat and layer there. So you can layer those up like this, so like we just did, and pop your sentiment on there, or you could use them to cut into that back cardstock and give you those aperture looks as well. But you've also got those lovely big head roses in there, and you've got your birds there too, which I feel they really stand out in that. The colorways of those birds really do stand out. They look really, really, really pretty. Oh, Linda McLeod has messaged in. Oh, she's saying good afternoon. She missed the shows earlier because she had internet connection problems. Well, you found us now, so that's good. And luckily, there's still some stock left because it's going so quick. So I'm glad you've been able to find us. Right, should we do another demo? Right, so the earlier one, we did use the die more as card shapes. Now this one, I have done more cards in this one. So we are going in with a 6x6 card again. And we're just going to pop some foam tape on the back of here and just raise these layers up to give us a bit of dimension on there. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the next layer too. So let's just pop some foam on here while we're doing it. So we have some good dimension in between the two layers. Just pop that on there. So I've gone in with I think this is the, I'm trying to think what it is, one of our papers. I was trying to think what collection it was, but I can't remember what one I used. That's going to fit on there, and then our sheet of white card then it's just going to sit on top. So I'm going to have a nice green frame for this. And that's going to go on this. So then we're going to bring in our pot. Now we're going to use this away from the mats and those layering dies. So I wanted to use it independently on a card. So this is going to go on the top. So this is going to go down here. And now we're going to, let's use some pin flare. We're going to pop this down first. Just put a little bit of glue on there. Now I've got another one of these that I've already cut out, and I've cut the foliage away from it. So you can see I've cut this bit off, so just used my scissors and snipped away at that bit, and then I've also cut away the crack, so that hole in the plant pot, I've cut that out, so you can see there, compared to that one, I've gone in and just snipped that bit away. Now I'm also going to add in some of our Pure Enchantment seam building elements into this. So this is going to go behind that, like that. And then we're going to add in, we're going to pop this over on the other side. So, you know, all those seam building elements you've got at home are definitely going to be able to coordinate in with this perfectly. Now, this pot, before I stick this down, I've got one of the fairies, so this is one that's sitting down. Now I'm just going to shape her wings, and I'm just going to put glue on the very front and the back of her body, because I'm going to pop her like that, so she looks as if she's sat almost coming out of the plant pot, which I just thought was such a nice little idea of coming out of there. So, you know, again, you could do that with so many other elements as well that you can mix and match this in with. So now if I pop that on there, I've got that dimension that you can see, but then I've also got my little fairy who looks as if she's coming out of the little pot. Now I've got some more elements here that I'm going to pop in. So I've got some of the crystals here. So I want to bring this in to even out that purple, because you've got the purple there from the lantern, and we've got purple on our fairy's belt as well. So that's going to go in there like that. I've got the decoupage element here. This is going to go on there like that. And then we've got some of the foliage elements here. So I'm just going to pop some of these on this side just to add in some green coming over here. And then I'm going to add this one behind there like that. And then now I've got You Are Wonderful sentiment, and I've got the mat here, which is the same perfect paper as the background. So I'm going to pop this on. So this is just going to sit on there like that. If I can pick it up, come on there. So I've got that. Now this bit I'm going to use some pin flare, and this is going to sit going across there like that. And then the decoupage pot that we cut out, obviously we've got then that foliage that we've already cut out, so that bit now I'm going to use, and I've cut into it a bit more as well just to make it go the way that I want it to go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this on top of there like that, so it looks as if I'm almost extending that foliage. It looks as if it's going round, and then I'm going to do exact same thing again on the top. So this bit, if I lift that up, is going to go there like that. So it just looks as if that foliage is just flowed around there with the sentiment. And then I'm going to add in another one of our little fairies. I'm just going to pop her in there like that, and then I've got one more. But I love that these come in different poses, and like some look like they're flying, some are sat down, so you can really fit these in to your scenes wherever you want them to go. But you can see, I think that just works perfectly with the spring garden. It just works so lovely. And again, even if we took away the enchanted parts of that, it still looks completely stunning on its own. And then don't forget as well, we could have changed the elements. So we could have put in the roses, and then instead of the fairies, we could have added in the little birds. So you could have had the little bird coming out of the pot as well. So there's lots of different ways that you can actually use this and bring it together. But that is using some of our garden song die set there, so you can see how we've brought that in. So that is our crafter select for today. It is on a show price for you of $14.99, which is an amazing price, and that does go back up at midnight tonight. So it's absolutely brilliant deal that you're getting. And like I said before we started the show, 70% of the stock had already gone. So I think it's been really popular with you guys at home, but it is so pretty. Such a lovely collection. But I'll go through the board and some more samples so you can see exactly what it is that you are going to get. So we've got, so you can see that this is exactly what you're going to get in the garden song set. So you've got your outside mat there, you've got your plant pot with the foliage in, plus you've got the mat and layer there to pop your sentiment on, or you can make apertures with these. You've got those large rose heads plus those birds in there as well, so you can really go in and mix and match these up. But I'm going to show you the samples the design team have done, because these really does show you different ways of using these, and you can make large cards of these, small cards of these. You can see you can just use the bird, the florals there. You could just use the foliage and the roses on their own, and think of those frames that you've got at home already that you could make this with. Big cards as well, it's not just for the little cards. You can see there, bringing in the pot, and look at the fence there. So think about all those dies that you've got at home already, you can add into this. So if you want to make it into a bigger card, you can absolutely do that. Or using, just building up those florals, I think just looks so pretty. I love the birds, I think they really stand out, they really catch your eye. And then you can see then these ones are using that mat as the card base. You can see you are making the card out of that outside mat, bringing in the florals with the birds, and you can really build up these scenes how you want them to be. And then again, think of circle dies that you've got at home already that you can add into that, and little dies that you can add on to these as well. Like you've got your rocks down here, you can really, and look at the dimension on that, you can really make a really impactful card with these. I just think they look absolutely amazing. So you can see that. So them are all of the cards our design team members have done. So I'm just going to grab my next demo, and I've just been told we're now on 75% of the stock of this has gone. So I think it's probably going to go by the end of today. So if you want to grab it while it's on that show price, because at midnight tonight this is going to go back up to full price. So it's only on that show price for you until midnight tonight. So you've got that show price of $14.99, like I said, only until midnight. So you've got 241110, your garden song die. Grab that before it goes. Right, now I've got my next demo ready, so we're going to make a card again, and I am going to mix and match this one up as well. So I'm going to put some mass and layers on to start with. So I've got, I think, we've gone for like the purple colour in this one. So we're going to pull our foam pads off the back here, and we're going to use this to build that nice frame around our project. Somebody asked me once, like, why do you always do mats and layers onto your cards, and it's like when you get a picture frame and you have a mount in your picture frame. It frames whatever it is that you're doing. It'll frame your card. You're just making your frame ready for you to put all your nice things in the middle, and it just draws your eye in straight away. So we're going to go in with a little bit of a mix again. So I've got my plant pot here, and you can see now I've cut this one down, and this time I've cut this one a little bit differently. So I've cut it away there, and the reason I've done that is because I've got a circle here which I've cut out. So using those nesting dies that you have, cut out a circle, and we're going to pop this on top of that. So this is going to sit like that. So I've cut away essentially what would have been the bit that would have been hidden that you wouldn't have seen anyway. So we're going to pop, I'm going to use some pin flare and pop this on the bottom of there, and then this is just going to go, so it's almost going to look as if it's like sat on top of that pot. So this is just going to go in there like that. Right, so I've got that there, so that's the reason I've cut that. So you can still see the bits coming up from the bottom, but that bit that would have been a waste, I've cut that bit away. So now this could be the fairy house, could be the bird house, it could be absolutely anything, but we're going to use that, and I thought we're going to use it like a little bird house because I thought that fitted in really cute with that. And I've got, so that bit as well that we've cut away, we're going to bring that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of the florals, and what we're going to do is we're going to pop this here like that. So I'm kind of extending again where that foliage is going. So never be afraid to cut into them either and use them in different ways. And I'm going to do exact same thing with the flowers too. So I'm going to snip away these little bits of the flowers, and I'm going to add, so I'm going to add that in there like that. So you're going to see a bit of the flowers coming up, and then you're going to see that on top of there. And I'm going to actually pull that up more as well. So you can go in with your flowers and just tack these. And I'm just going to tack those in so they look as if they're almost growing with that branch. So you can really go in and add as much detail or as little detail to these as you want, because I think they are so pretty even on their own. They are so detailed. The artwork, you've got so many cut lines in there and detail lines that they just work so well. I'm going to cut that down. And then that is going to go in there like that. And then let's add some more pink. So let's cut these. And let's add in some pink. They're really bright and cheerful, aren't they? I just add that there, so I'm not covering any of the foliage, and then just get another one, cut that bit off, and then this bit is just going to go there in the back. So you just bring in those flowers up and adding those in. Then let's pop our birdhouse on there like that. So that is just going to sit there like so. Then I'm going to add in my sentiment before I start putting more things in, otherwise I'll cover where my sentiment's going to go. Because I always add the sentiment last. The sentiment's always the last thing that I think about. that is just going to sit there like that. Right, and then we're going to add in all of these little extra bits. So we're really going to go in and decorate this. You've got your hanging basket, which is just going to go there like that. And then I'm going to bring in some of the fairies as well. So let's add some of these in, because I think birds and fairies go so well together. That, I'm going to pop him there. And then you've also got your little plant pot as well. Let's put that down there. A little plant pot. That's the cutest little plant pot of flowers I think I've ever seen. So you can add in, we're going to tuck this one in the flowers. I love tucking these in as well, because I feel like they are those like little hidden fairies. Like they're so subtle that you have to look at them to see them. Yeah, you'd notice the bird. I think the bird stands out really lovely because of the colourways. But then the fairies are just, to me, they're like what fairies should be like. Like you have to look to see them. They're not bright and colourful and sparkly. They're like, you have to look to notice them. So they're like my realistic fairies. But they work so well together. So you can see how that garden song just comes in with those, and you can see that you can easily cut into that foliage as well to shape it how you want it to be. And the bird is just, look at the detail on him. They're so detailed. They look detailed when you print them out, and then as soon as you cut them out and you see all those detailed cut lines in there, you're like, okay, no, it's detailed. So you thought it was detailed before, but they come to life. They are, and the vibrancy in the colours as well. So I'm going to show you the 3 that I've done now using the Pure Enchantment with them, and then I'll show you the 3 that we did in the earlier show using them separate. Where's, I know I've done 3. Where is it? I don't think they're going to fit today. Right, so you can see that. So like this one, we did use the mat and those layers there for the sentiment, but you can see how we've used the artwork there with the flower pot and the foliage there to build up, and you've got the bird there hidden away in the flowers. And then this one, we use this separately. So we've done it completely on its own. We've cut into that foliage to change the direction of where we want that foliage to go. And then this one, we've done a similar thing where we've used the plant pot with the foliage, but then with the one I had spare, I've added it on. So you could add that around actually, couldn't you? And you could almost make like a circle back to the plant pot and add more into that as well. But you can see, it's just to show how easily they will actually coordinate with different collections that you might have at home already that you can add into these. And then if you missed the earlier show, I was trying to show different ways of using the actual mat. So this one, we used it to make the card base, and we used the matte and layering dies to actually make an aperture in the card shape, and then popped your sentiment on there on a sheet of acetate, and then you can see how pretty they look. So pretty, don't they? And then we've got another one here where we did a similar technique where we've popped that layer in to make the aperture into the card, and then added in all the foliage with those roses as well and those beautiful birds. And then we've got another one where we've used the card base, but we've popped on those matte layers there to make that stand out. And you can see how those matte layers fit perfectly around the foliage. And then adding in those birds with the roses, they just look They look so pretty. So, for 14.99, you know, to me, you're essentially getting a card shape in this as well, because you're using that outside mat as your card. You're getting a complete card basically for 14.99. But don't forget as well, you can make and sell these as many as you want. So you could cut these out like this in different ways and have them like that on your stand, on your stall, and sell those, and it's cost you 14.99, which is amazing, really. They do catch people's eye. I think because it's a different shape as well. Like you instantly get drawn to it, don't you? And it looks so pretty. But then you can have that clean space there where your sentiment can go as well. Or you could even use it like that as an aperture and put a picture or something in the back of it. Or you could put like print out a verse and have a special verse behind it. Maybe you do things for animal charities. So you could put the dogs with this, or the pups with this, or if you've got lots of different dies with birds, you could put different breeds of birds with this, and then you could have in that aperture a verse like specific to the breed of bird, or the breed of dog, or the breed of cat, and then you could sell these for like animal charities and things like that. So there's lots of different ways that you can mix and match these up, but obviously you do need to grab the Garden Song die set if you want to have a play with these, because I don't think it's going to last. It's on a show price for you of $14.99. It's 241110. Like I said, that show price is $14.99 for you, but that does go back up to full price at midnight tonight, so a great way to get it while you've got that discount there. I think we were on 75%. 75% of the stock has gone. So let's show you exactly what it is that you are going to get in there. Let's go to the board so you can see everything that you're going to get. So you do get that outside mat, like you can see there, with that pot and the foliage there building up. And then you've got your mat and your layer there too. So you can use those as apertures. You can use those as mat and layers like this to build in. So you can build them up like that one, or cut into them and use them to make little apertures into your car. So those are the dies that you'll use to do those different types of effects. Then you've got those really nice large rose heads there that you can snip into, use singly or use them like that, and just slot them in and fit them around where you want them to go, plus your two adorable little birds there as well, which are so detailed. But we'll go through the samples as well one more time so you can see exactly how the design team have done these. So these ones are using that mat as your card base, but again, think of those other dies that you can bring into these, those seam building elements that you might have at home already, that you can just slot into these, and they will work very well with these, effortlessly work with them. You can just slot in anything. Like I was just saying, you could add in different birds, you could add in the dogs, you could add in the cats to these, and it will still work. You could add in different types of animals as well, and they will just work with this really well. Now this one has used the pot and the foliage separately to decorate that corner of that card, and you can see how pretty that looks, just bringing in loads of those roses. It looks like a rose bush there growing. It looks absolutely stunning with those birds sat on top. Or then you could make large cards as well, so you can see there with the little bird look on that fence. He just looks absolutely adorable. Bringing in the pot there with the foliage building up, but then you can see how adding in other dies that you've got there at home is going to work in with these, or even just your frames. So just those mat and layers and those frames that you've got at home already, cutting out that foliage and using it separately, bringing in those roses and popping that little bird down there. That looks adorable, and that's, to me, not even using the main part of the actual die, that's just snipping into it. That could essentially be bits that you've got left over that you've just popped onto a frame card, and it looks amazing. Or even doing things like this where you're using it as that stoppage point for your card. in the center like that. It looks so, so pretty. So think of these arches as well. You know, you might have these at home already. Even just popping that on a card and having that next to it would still look stunning. And this is from In the Courtyard, so you know where that's come from. But even if you just pop that onto a card with that on there, it would look beautiful. So there's so many different ways of using the Garden Song die set that we've got on today. So pretty. So, so pretty. Right, so that is the end of our show. So this is your last chance to see this live. The Garden Song die set, so it will go back up at midnight, okay, to full price. So until then, it is going to be on that show price for you for $14.99. So at midnight tonight, it is going to go back up. So if you do want to grab it, please grab it before it goes back up to full price. There's nothing worse, is there, than you think about things and then it's gone up, or maybe it'll be gone because we're already 75% has gone, so it might not even be midnight tonight. Now I am back next Monday, I want to say. Tuesday? I think it's Monday. Tuesday. No, it's Tuesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm here. Yes. I am back next Tuesday with a brand new launch. And I'm not going to say anything about it, actually, because I think it's going to be really popular, because it's very, very pretty. Yes, so I will be back on Tuesday and Wednesday. Dave will be with us on Tuesday as well. And then I will be on Hobby Maker on Thursday. So hopefully you all have a lovely week and a lovely weekend. The sun is supposed to be shining all week. Yay. So hopefully the sun stays shining. So have a lovely weekend and we will see you next week. Bye.